It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Konowitz and Nate Loucks. And here's the podcast.
Hello, friends, and welcome back. It's good to have our friend and colleague, Ben Konowitz, back after not doing anything for a long time.
Vagabond Konowitz.
Remy Youssef, let's talk about him.
We already did that.
What, you did?
Yeah.
When?
It was a hit.
It was our finest episode yet. People wrote in, they were like, it felt like it was a lot more professional and focused and organized.
Why?
Somehow funnier.
Yeah, it was like there was just an air of excellence, is what I heard.
Yeah,
But-
professionalism. Sexual charisma was oozing through the mics.
and a lot of tension, a lot of sexual tension.
Yeah, and it's
which is
just,
odd. I mean, it's just like it oozes out of.
I think it's mostly just because we have such animalistic instincts.
I don't like any of this.
rare.
Kristen Mother Flippin' Wig.
Yes, we are back with another new episode. This is the second of 3 back-to-back episodes. Back-to-back episodes.
It's just how they do it nowadays. Isn't it?
Kristen Wiig, former cast member, came back to host the episode, and this was her 5th time hosting, so it was a big deal, and they made a big deal out of it, and they had some fun. But before we get to that, Nate,
Yeah.
let's dig in and have some fun.
All right, let's dig in. TBS March Madness Cold Open, written by Dan Bulla, Streeter Seidel, and Brian Tucker. Charles Barkley, played by Kenan Thompson. Ernie Johnson, played by James Austin Johnson. And Kenny Smith, played by Devin Walker, discuss March Madness 2024. So this sketch existed.
Hey, here's the thing.
It wasn't political.
That's maybe the best thing that we could have asked for. I'm glad they didn't do something that was tied to any of the headlines that happened throughout the week. Didn't need the political satire.
The Northern and Southern.
Just by default, this was better because
It didn't.
have to like waste.
It wasn't
my
the
time.
formula. Yep.
Yeah, this wasn't like a laugh out loud hilarious sketch. It had its moments. You know, I liked bits and pieces. But
It tried.
yeah, they did their best. I feel like they probably would have benefited by going more absurd with it, doing something that felt like more conceptual comedically. That feels like it's usually their biggest problem when they're doing stuff that is like timely and tied to headlines, is that they stayed too strictly to like the actual subject matter and don't take it into a like too much of a funnier area.
There wasn't enough silliness in this. I needed a little bit more silliness for it to. It was just like little quips about contemporary stuff.
The funniest thing was Charles Barkley not knowing what he was talking about,
Which is always fun.
Yeah.
I also want to say, because I want to give him some props for another great impression. James Austin Johnson does a fantastic Ernie Johnson, and that
He's got the cadence down.
yes,
for sure.
and you might not know what Ernie Johnson sounds like if you don't watch basketball, but it is on it. He is so good at that one. What did you think of this one, Benny?
They just like Kenny the Jet Smith. Kenny and the Jet, like they're gonna try, I'm trying something. I don't know. That's the best.
To be fair, you have to keep it within the realm of like what they would say as people.
But like you said, but why? Can't you just start there and get a little bit more?
But that was something that was supposed to be like cheesy funny. Like it was like supposed to be more of a making fun of like him for saying that than actually being a real proper joke, right?
That's fair, I guess.
What are you bitching about?
I don't know. Kenny the Jet Smith is replaceable to me on that show. Like I've watched that show enough where I'm like, he is still allowed to be here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
I think your frustration is more with.
Yeah, you're talking about the real show.
Yeah.
And it's just
Maybe I was just wishing they would have made fun of him like that. Like Kenny the Jet Smith, don't know why I'm here.
I will say, Devin Walker not had a great season.
Yeah, I mean, he's still a featured player. He's still kind of cutting his
in
teeth.
there, but like
he definitely hasn't stood out as
he's
much
not
as the
had
other
that
featured
Marcelo
players.
Hernandez rise, right?
Yeah.
By the way, which regular cast member was not on this episode?
Which regular cast member was not on
Punky
this episode?
Johnson. No, Punky Johnson
No,
was
she
on.
was there. She was there.
There's one cast member that was not the Please Don't Destroy guys, but
Was it Ego?
no.
Nope, she was there.
Oh yeah, she was there in the last one.
Michael Longfellow?
Correct. Michael
Ah, there
Longfellow
you
was
go.
not there, or he was not in any sketches. I didn't check and see if he was at the, at the goodbyes.
Wearing the 5-timer jacket like
Yeah,
everybody else was.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, wow.
Maybe he was shooting a movie.
Maybe or I mean,
show?
it happened not long ago. Punky Johnson or no.
Molly Carney.
Molly Carney. They were not featured prevalently in the last episode, but
Prevalently?
prevalent.
What the fuck? Are you making up words now?
It's predominantly evident. Prevalently. Never heard that word?
Absolutely.
No, they were they at the Good Nights though?
Yeah, they were there.
Okay. So Longfellow, we're not sure if he was at the.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention because I didn't even realize that he wasn't there.
That sounds so insulting.
It does. It's not meant to be.
This fucking guy who cares if he was there or not.
But honestly, and we'll get to this as we get into the show. It's mostly because of how many guest stars they had.
Oh, yeah.
So
It was hard to keep track, honestly.
Yeah.
Michael Longfellow got bumped for a list of really great celebrities.
Michael Longfellow just saw how many people. He's like, you know what? I'm not coming in, guys.
I'm gonna sit this one out, guys. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
Take a couple plays off here.
All right, moving on. Kristen Wiig, 5-timers monologue written by Mike DeCenzo, Jake Norblin, Ken Sublett, and Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig celebrates her 5th time hosting Saturday Night Live by taking some questions from audience members, including Paul Rudd, Paul Appel, Matt Damon, and more. Let's. I've got a question for you. Which former SNL cast members are part of the 5-timers club?
Chevy Chase,
Correct.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
No.
Oh,
He's
always the bartender.
Yeah, he's the bartender.
Correct.
Damn it.
Yeah. Candace Bergen.
No.
She was not a cast member? She's a 5-timer.
She's a 5-timer.
She wasn't a cast member.
Oh, I thought she was.
No, she's a host.
Yeah,
she just hosted a lot.
She's just hosted a ton.
Yeah, she's like Steve Martin in that way. Where
exactly.
I always forget.
Yep.
Chris.
Kristen Wiig.
That is now the 5th.
Yep. You're welcome. I'm going to say that
I mean, you guys are missing really
Tina Fey
correct. That's 2.
and
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell's 3. One more.
Yep. And let's go with
You guys are missing an obvious one.
Adam Sandler.
No, he's only hosted like once.
Yeah.
We'll just cut this so we sound very smart.
No,
Nope,
just tell
nope.
us.
Bill Murray.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
All right. So there was a lot of stars in this one. I loved this. It was so much fun because this is what I want a 5-timers monologue to be, right? Yeah. All the people come back. They're having fun. You see also what I loved about it as well. You see Kristen Wiig's friends there. Yeah. And so they're celebrating with her off stage.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of fun with this. What'd you guys think?
No, of course it was. And Paul Rudd, bless him, he got basically like 2 redemptions for not having a proper 5-timers when they had to cancel because of the Omicron surge when he was supposed to be properly 5-timers.
Yeah.
Then he got his real one with like Steve Martin and stuff, and then he gets to do this bonus one with even more people. So.
And he's always so happy. That's why I love Paul Rudd. He's just always so chipper.
He was great. And then when Matt Damon stood up, in my head I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that he was a 5-timer.
Was that?
And then I was like, oh, fuck, he's not at all. I'm an idiot.
Did you guys feel like the 2 times Matt Damon was in this, he kind of flubbed his lines twice?
He had 2 lines that he flubbed. He recovered nicely. But
he recovered fine. But it was like I wonder if he was nervous.
I mean, he hasn't done it in a long time. I think so. Yeah, it would make sense.
Man, also Paul Rudd was there.
Yeah, it's true, and he looks better than Matt Damon.
Big shoes to fill.
So John Hamm, Fred Armisen, Will Forte were all there. Martin Short popped in as well.
Ryan Gosling.
They made Lorne Michaels laugh.
Yes, they did. Lauren had to look away, which I love.
Gosling's on next week, right?
Yep.
So he's already
showed up early.
He's just hanging out.
He's like, oh, I thought this was my week.
Yeah.
He likes to be prepared.
Gosh darn, though, you're right, though. That's the kind of thing you want to see. It's a who's who. It's people that aren't the same from before. Because obviously Matt Damon being there and John Hamm, Paul Rudd. It's a new infusion of people to help her celebrate. I loved it.
Yeah, it was superb.
So Matt Damon and Kristen Wiig worked together in The Martian. Did they work together in anything else?
The shrinking one, right?
Downsizing.
Yeah, isn't Matt Damon in that?
Matt Damon is in that. He's the lead.
Kristen Wiig's in that though. I didn't know.
I'm pretty sure she's his wife in that, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she backs out at the last second. Yeah.
Yep.
And then he shrinks and then she doesn't.
Yeah. Story of my life.
Also
weird.
Because this
my penis.
Okay.
All right. So Paul Appel is a longtime writer at SNL.
Yes.
close friend to Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
And she's got a show on, and I wanted you to push this because you watched this, right? Girls
Yes.
Five Eva?
Yes.
Is it as funny as people are saying it is?
Yeah, I mean it's in the same vein as 30 Rock because it's created by Robert Carlock and executive produced by Robert Carlock and Tina Fey, and then also created by Meredith Scardino, who did work on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and Great News as well.
Those are some great shows.
Yeah, they are. They're fantastic, and so it's not quite as funny as 30 Rock, but like 30 Rock is like my favorite comedy of all time, basically. So like that's just a high bar to meet. But it is very funny, and she's fantastic.
Paula Pell is a legend at SNL.
That's
what I'm saying. I don't know if everyone that watches this understands how incredible
she used to pop up all the time, even though she was never a cast member, but like she was a writer.
She was like the writer that they would use if they wanted somebody else that wasn't a cast member, and they kind of just needed a somebody, but they didn't need an applause break for that person.
Exactly.
But man, she is just so freaking funny. Jim Downey is like the male counterpart to me.
For sure, absolutely. If you haven't watched Girls Five Ever and you like aren't aware of who Paula Pell is, you've seen her pop up because she's guest starring on a bunch of shows. She played Ron Swanson's mother on Parks and Recreation.
That's right.
And she's had little guest spots in a lot of TV shows over the years.
I bet you it would be just fucking fascinating to see everything she's done as far as just unwritten punch ups.
Oh yeah,
and like helping out. I mean, I guarantee you, the list is a mile long.
Yeah,
like she's just so good.
All right, moving on. Jumanji, a group of friends played by Bowen Yang, Ego Wodum, Chloe Feynman, Andrew Dismukes, meet their friends James Austin Johnson, new girlfriend Kristen Wiig. This was fantastic.
It was so good.
This was like old SNL for me. This was so funny, so unique. I wanted Will Ferrell to be in this and just bring the guys back.
It felt like it came straight out of like the mid 2000s,
which was just a sweet spot.
Everybody saying the word Jumanji in the way that they were saying. Dismukes was it was a masterclass of him.
He was incredible.
He was perfect in this. I can't imagine anybody else doing it better. Are you saying you're going to get Jumanji in or Jumanji out?
It almost reminded us of a conversation you guys, the three of us, would have before we record about something really dumb. But it was fantastic. Dismukes just escalated this so well. I did not see that one coming. It's not intensity,
and when it's two different layers of, and technically three layers of jokes too, because you have Kristen Wiig playing straight about having this genuine fear of being Jumanji'd. And then
it's just a funny concept,
right? And then briefly you have the disagreement, like, wait a minute, which Jumanji are we talking about? Because I saw it and it was a video game that they got sucked into.
And then it's like, don't you dare say that's the Jumanji. You all know Robin Williams Jumanji is the original Jumanji.
Yeah, and then of course you have the Jumanji blender of like explaining, like, no, you're going to get sucked into Jumanji, or are you getting Jumanji out?
It speaks just I want to say he was so good. It was just so funny.
And then that's not even talking about the surprise, Will Forte.
Where it really becomes Ticket to Ride Jumanji.
Exactly.
It's so good. This is a perfect bit as far as escalation and hat on a hat, but done in the right way. Oh gosh, I'm so big fan of this sketch.
Loved it.
It did make me a little nostalgic and reminded me a little bit of, because also the uniqueness of the sketch. It just felt different than. Because we went to more absurdist humor now, right? Which is still funny. We love it. But this was just a simple sketch that was just pulled off perfectly.
The last time that I saw this was the beep beep. I'm in a little car coming through with the Thanksgiving. Yep. It kind of reminded me of that because the escalations on beep beep. Yeah, I'm a car. And they all take it very seriously. And obviously in this sketch, they start taking the Jumanji thing very seriously.
I was also reminded of the Weezer sketch. Too.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving on. Pilates, written by Rosebud Baker, Chloe Feynman, Jimmy Fowley, and Sierra O'Sullivan. Two women, played by Chloe Feynman and Molly Carney, try a Pilates class for the first time. This was a pre-tape.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think of this? I mean, it was fine to me.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. If anything, is good style, solid editing. They really nailed the vibe of like
Agreed.
a horror movie trailer, especially like a certain kind of horror movie trailer with like the neon tinges and whatnot. But there wasn't really a lot of meat on the bone comedically. Like it's amusing. I get to talk about Pilates in a way of like, because it is kind of this terrifying exercise.
It's also a world I don't understand, so there may have been more humor in there than I understood.
Do you think,
right?
Do you think that they took umbrage with the person that said that there was no hot women that have ever been on SNL, and then Kristen Wiig comes out like, I'll show you something.
Yeah, we're gonna put all the women in form-fitting aerobics gear.
Yeah.
No, not just that, but Kristen Wiig has aged so perfect. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Like she's one of the funniest human beings that's ever lived.
We did talk about that last week.
But she's gorgeous. She is absolutely drop dead gorgeous.
Dumb take. It was dumb take.
It's a dumb take.
Yeah.
But I mean, she just watching her in a couple of the sketches tonight, I was like, my God, I didn't realize she was that in shape. Good for you, Kristen Wiig.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. Recurring sketch coming up. Secretaries, written by Mike DeCenzo, Heidi Gardner, Jimmy Fowley, Jake Norman, and Carol O'Sullivan. Two secretaries, played by Kristen Wiig and Heidi Gardner, help a lawyer, played by John Hamm, take on a new client, played by Bowen Yang. This first appeared in October 14th of last year. The episode with Pete Davidson as host. What did you guys think of this one, adding Kristen Wiig to it?
Yeah, it's very good.
I would not have anticipated this to become a recurring sketch in the least, but it was appropriate that they used John Hamm in this one since it has that Mad Men vibe to it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I think
I thought Kristen Wiig does the Heidi Gardner thing there really well as well.
For sure. And I think that this is a rare instance where the sketch actually benefited from a failure of the props.
Absolutely.
Because it was infinitely funnier watching Kristen Wiig struggle to make the desk break properly.
And then watching Heidi Gardner's like
try and bust through the wall.
But then the globe comes off.
Yeah.
And so she's just kind of sitting there and laughing her ass off. And then you cut back to Hamm.
Yeah.
And he's dying with Wiig trying not to. Oh my God. Them trying not to laugh while kind of posing like they're gonna kiss. That's so funny. And it only happens because, like you said,
it's the failures of the props.
So good.
Because it was so physical in their comedy. That's when the laughter on SNL from the cast members is the best.
Yeah.
It's
because
palpable.
they're just having a fun time with these kind of
And it just goes to show you how dainty Kristen Wiig and Heidi Gardner are. They couldn't even bust through styrofoam furniture
desks.
properly.
Yeah. I don't think any of us in this room right now would struggle.
No. In fact, they probably wouldn't make stronger furniture because
they were like, let's get the normal props, but like add a 2x4 because Konowitz is going to lean into it.
Yeah. And trust me, it's still going to break.
It's still going to break. Don't worry. I did laugh really hard for some reason when he got the sandwich from between their butts. He goes, "This tastes like ass." I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking he was gonna say, but I don't know that it was that. You know.
Although I do hope I can in the future order a drink on the racks.
That was really great. No, it was funny enough, and then the failure of the props was tremendous. Really helped the sketch.
Another recurring sketch, Retirement Party, written by Stephen Castillo and Colin Jost. Things go off the rails when speeches are made at a man's retirement party. That man is Kenan Thompson, who does the perfect look into the camera of shock, right? Of this isn't me kind of thing. What did you guys think of this sketch?
Well, this is a recurring sketch, not in as in carrying over any characters, right?
No, but they've done it. Colin Jost has written this sketch before.
It's a familiar formula.
Yeah, and specifically those two have written.
They're celebrating somebody,
or it's a funeral.
Exactly. So
a cast of characters grab the mic,
right?
So it's recurring in the setup, in the comedy, and all these kind of things.
But I like it because the funniest parts about the sketch are when you know whoever's coming up. By the third time, you know they're going to grab the mic, right?
Yep.
And so then it's like, how are they going to go about grabbing the mic to me? Mikey Day's playfulness with each one of them, that I look forward to the next one every single time. It's great.
And there's you get to have the visual gags along with the jokes of when you finally see the characters too, because just seeing Kristen Wiig walk up with the oxygen,
I started laughing immediately.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have little gems too, I'm the step nephew of the event coordinator,
and that's a character Will Forte has done a couple of times, just that voice.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember. I can't place him exactly when, but I definitely he's done that character before.
Yeah, it's and it's just it's great when you have not just the big cast, but you have all these guest stars who can come through, so you get Paul Rudd in there.
I'm Hollywood actor Matt Damon.
Right. That Matt Damon playing himself was
Great.
a really great bit to have this. And this is a long sketch too. This was like a 7.5 minute sketch.
It felt long. It felt like it could have been about a minute shorter, but it wasn't bad.
You weren't having fun, Nate?
It was fine. It just it
Just fine. It was fine.
Just fine.
It was
fine for Nate.
Again.
You don't have had a little chuckle?
I chuckled.
You didn't laugh?
I chuckled.
Weren't having any Snickers?
You go fall a bit.
No chortles?
I chuckled. Okay, I chuckled, guys.
No, it's fine. No.
Okay. Well,
Me and Ben
what's next?
Me and Ben appreciate comedy. I
What's
guess.
next is a comment that I need to make about you right now. Last week,
Okay.
Brad and I hosted this.
Yeah, I
this
know. I
podcast
know this happened.
by ourselves, and we got to the weekend update, and it was time to do the barometer, and we did the barometer, and Brad picked 73. I picked 70. It's the closest I've ever been.
It's because I wasn't here.
It may have been because you weren't there. I think you're just a bad omen for me.
No, it's Brad Oman.
Brad Oman.
Oh, okay. So today we're going to do it again. And if I win, then the curse is over.
Okay.
Okay. So the barometer is a number that Brad comes up with between 0 and 100 that denotes the connection that the two hosts have during the weekend update, Michael Che and Colin Jost. It is about the spiritual and mental and physical and sexual chemistry that they have during it. It is not necessarily about the jokes, though the jokes certainly are going to feed into their chemistry. I hope by this point, we're like 62 episodes into this podcast, you know what the barometer is. So, Brad, we have him write it down now because we
didn't ever trust that he wasn't just changing his answer.
Because I benefit a lot from the lie. I mean,
It's true.
Yeah.
You make us look bad.
Yeah, you make us look bad.
And you get to win.
I make you look bad.
So I'm going to start with you, Benny.
82.
82.
82.
You like this?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
I'm
holding up his hand for the high five. That's direct interaction.
I'm going to go with 84. Brad.
Brad Ummer. You
Guys are feeling overzealous.
What?
Yeah, I went with 75.
Oh, that's dumb.
Not done.
No, this was good. This
No,
was good.
no, it was good. It was fun. They were fine.
But you're saying essentially it was the same as last week.
I mean, it essentially was like it was like a tiny bit more because of the high five moment. You're right that will definitely raise the score a little bit, but otherwise there wasn't much back and forth between them. There wasn't a lot of acknowledgement of each other. Like I like when they're
Colin Jost showed a picture of Michael Che.
Yeah.
that's a
As the
joke.
punchline to a joke.
That's a joke about Michael Che, but there wasn't much that came from that between them. Honestly,
It's just
Michael Che's reaction. Like they just moved on quickly. From
like
it.
I'm just
I really dig the moments when like they make each other laugh. They
laughing.
take jabs at each other. They're looking at each other a lot. Like you want them to feel like they're friends, not coworkers.
okay, but I'm just questioning the scientific validity of the barometer anymore.
There's no scientific validity whatsoever.
Well, then why are we doing this podcast?
I think about that every time we sit down here and record.
All right, let's talk about the weekend update as a whole. Weekend update anchors Colin Jost and Michael Che tackle the week's biggest news, like the women's NCAA Final Four matchup of Iowa versus UConn, becoming the most viewed women's basketball game with 14.2 million viewers. What did you guys think of the jokes? Anything you really liked?
I knew that Michael Che was going to do something sexist about the female tournament, and he did, and it was funny.
Yep.
I expected it though.
Yep.
The high five joke was great. It was.
so.
I laughed very hard at that.
It was.
Brad seemed to
it
not
was
like
very
it.
funny.
Brad didn't like it as much, but that's okay.
I thought it was very funny.
No, I mean, not that funny.
Not that funny though.
I like jokes.
You like Jost?
Jokes.
All right, let's move on to the bits because I think we got something to talk about here.
Let's give them something to talk about.
This is not Go Fix Yourself.
Let's give them something to figure out.
Talking about bits,
Love, love,
bits.
I don't know what you guys are wanting out of this, but I don't think you guys.
You're not gonna get it.
Like, I don't think we want the same thing.
It's not for you, Nate.
All right, weekend update bit: earthquake and eclipse on the 4.2 magnitude earthquake and the solar eclipse. Earthquake played by Marcelo Hernandez, and eclipse played by Kenan Thompson. Stop by Weekend Update to discuss the earthquake that shook the Northeast and the solar eclipse. I will say again, Marcelo Hernandez is having a breakout year. He's doing very, very well as a cast member and becoming an integral part of this cast moving forward, I think.
Yes.
I love anytime they do a cutout of a character where they're showing his face and like the costume is just Kenan Thompson's face in the center of an eclipse.
It took me a second to see what it was.
It's silly and it's fun.
Oh, duh. Of course it's the eclipse. But for a second there, I was like, what is that?
I love Marcelo Hernandez's costume.
The bobblehead shake stuff is great.
I thought that was really funny. What did you guys think?
Yeah, it was really fun. It's I was kind of reminded of the Chris Farley El Nino
Yep.
sketch, because they obviously turned into like a big wrestling face-off promo, which was a lot of fun, having them go at each other and then decide to team up. So yeah, it was a solid bit. It's not like an all-time great or anything like that, but the watching Kenan and Marcelo go at it together was a lot of fun.
It was why do you gotta put a level on it like that?
It's not the all-time
it wasn't
great.
all-time great. Just say how good it was.
It's not in the top 5 ever. Not in the top 5 ever.
Why take away from them?
I just don't want to make it sound like I'm over the moon for this one.
Oh boy!
But it was good. It was fun. Did you like it?
Yes, it was great.
I'm not
the
eclipsing this one.
I love that Kenan and Marcelo were having fun with it. Like I don't know. What do you want from this cast?
Marcelo Hernandez coming in was enough. I was laughing already.
Yep.
And then bringing Kenan in and then making it the wrestling thing. It was great escalation too.
Ben, don't you agree though? Marcelo Hernandez is becoming an integral part of this cast.
He really is. I mean, he's fit in so well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't.
But how do you feel about his presence in the cast?
Hey, Ben, do we have to keep Brad's mic on?
If he keeps saying such dumb shit, I say no. But for
Let's give him something to talk about.
Speaking of, Aunt Linda on the latest hit movie. Speaking of Brad, written by Paul Appel and Kristen Wiig. Aunt Linda, played by Kristen Wiig, stops by Weekend Update to discuss her takes on the latest hit movies like Barbie and Oppenheimer. My friend Bradford Oman, is a film critic in real life.
Well, I don't like to paint myself with that brush, but
cool.
I mean, but you are.
No, I'm not. I am not primarily a film critic.
Oh my god!
I write about movies and
Here's
TV.
his resume, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're gonna let you hear what Brad does
but
for a living.
I don't review nearly as much as I do other things. So I'm not primarily a film critic. There's a reason we have a chief film critic.
Do you review films ever?
But that's not the only thing that I do.
Oh my god!
That'd be like Nate if I would call you a Bible reader.
Except I am that. I would say, yeah, I am.
I yes, but not that's not my job title though.
Okay, but I called you a film critic, and you said, yeah. You could have said, yeah, I am.
No, I honestly don't like calling myself a film critic though. I genuinely never have, because I don't write a lot of reviews, and I don't.
It's because he has shitty opinions, and other film critics are like, "Wow, man, you're representing all of us. You know that, right?"
Hey,
and he goes, "No, I'm not. I'm not a film critic. I'm not a film critic."
I like Brad's opinions.
Hey, I'm gonna give Ben's comments a big brother, and also 5 fuck yous.
All right, what did you guys think of this? It was obviously being brought back. It had started. I looked it up. This had started in 2010, maybe, or no, 2006. And she did this 6 times on Weekend Update. Obviously, an important recurring character for Kristen Wiig. Did you like that they brought this one back?
I was surprised they brought it back, honestly, because it's not like it was never a standout character for me. I remember the character, and it was always fun, when she would do it. But it's not one that I would have thought that it would have
one of her more prominent
ones.
ones.
Exactly. Especially since they didn't really go out of their way to make it super topical. She's talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer, from summer movies from last year, and it's almost summer now. So, but no, I still enjoyed. I like seeing Kristen Wiig as this character. My favorite part is always the different measurements that she comes up with, each time. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
What'd you think of it, Penny?
Yeah, no, I was wondering what thing they were going to bring back from Kristen Wiig. I thought that maybe they might have done the Lawrence Welk show because
that would have been fun
because Fred was there, and also they've got some really talented singers now on the show.
Yep.
And so I thought maybe they would do that. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm like, yeah, I guess that's one you could do. I like it, but also Kristen Wiig had so many characters. I wonder why. I'm more curious than anything else.
I mean, they've done other ones since she's come back to host. Sure. I mean, it's her 5th time hosting, so you don't need to do the big ones every time.
Maybe because also Paul Appel was there, and she co-writes this one with her. So maybe
also
that's true.
Have you guys seen that Kristen Wiig is actually doing Target commercials as Target lady now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah.
I didn't know because they don't really show her face
At the very end,
much.
very end they do. I think the campaign is just starting because I saw the same thing and I was like, oh, they're making it seem like it's Target lady, but they're not showing Kristen Wiig.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden she's like, yeah, Target Circle Days.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's really doing
So
it.
she needs some money.
She did Wonder Woman 1984. I think she's doing fine.
Yeah, and that's why she needs the money.
Oh, yeah.
All right, on a sketch a little on the nose for old Nate Loucks, parents played by Kristen Wiig and James Austin Johnson distract the kids played by Andrew Smith and Chloe Trost from some bad news by letting him ride the go-karts at an amusement park. Guys, what do you think was the news they were going to share?
I mean, I imagine it was
It sounded like a divorce.
an earthquake.
So I went to the Wisconsin Dells with Ashley and her two boys.
Ben's girlfriend.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, and so they were. The kids were over with Ashley. We were watching. They were playing in the other room. We were watching SNL, and the go-kart sketch comes out, and Ashley's like, "Oh, boys, come in." And I'm like, "Why? No, don't.
Why would you do that?
Well, we thought it was going to be more like like a hand gets cut off and blood goes over. Like one of the more silly sketches.
Oh, one of the good things for kids.
And the boys are just
They're
crying.
fine. They're 7 and 9. They love that stuff. So, but as soon as they started saying stuff, she's like, "Okay, it's an adult one. You guys can go back in the other room." And then her oldest is like, "But I want to know what the bad thing is."
That's
It was
funny.
great.
No, sometimes mommy and daddy don't love each other anymore.
Now, let's just say that there was a pool.
Now, Nate, you said this was on the nose. Can you explain why?
So, Brad, what did you think of this one?
No, I thought it was pretty good. I will say I felt a little frustrated that they didn't escalate it to the point of revealing
Yeah.
what the bad thing was.
Yep.
It's that old thing of like, if you're going to introduce a bomb in the first act, it better go off in the third act.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And so I was a little disappointed that they didn't reach that point,
I kinda felt the same way. Yep.
especially since they set it up with the Sheila call.
Right.
Like, why not have Sheila show up? Why not have it be something that is more absurd than you would possibly
Yep.
think?
Yeah.
Pay that off. That would be my biggest criticism. Otherwise, the way James Austin Johnson and Kristen Wiig play
They
this
were
is so
great.
good. This is a kind of like a subsect of characters that Kristen Wiig was always good at playing. Like this very subdued, forlorn kind of mom who's just talking in a very matter of fact way.
Somewhat passive aggressive,
Yeah.
but
Well, you know what? We're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah, and I did love that we talked about this last week.
Oh, what'd you talk about?
In that there are certain SNL sketches where a punchline can come from a well-timed cut to something that you didn't know was there, and it's a joke that really only exists for people who are watching on TV because that character pretty much has to be there on set before that cut happens.
Yep.
And they had another one here where you have Chloe Trost sitting in the go-kart as the birthday girl. Yeah,
They cut there, and it's like, oh my god, it's her birthday.
yeah.
And I do think I have heard people do stuff like this.
This
right?
is and that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
right?
where like we want to have one last good day as a family before we tell them. Like, why would you do that?
Because then as you get a little older, like, wait, what the fuck was that trip to the Dells? Was that? Oh my! They knew the whole time.
Yeah, like we want to just have one more.
Wait a minute.
Good and like
What the?
Is that why we got ice cream every day?
All right, moving on. Final sketch of the night: La Maison du Bang, written by Chloe Feynman, Carol O'Sullivan, and Brian Tucker. Sonic Pioneers takes a look back at the French music variety show La Maison du Bang, featuring Tippy Tornado or Tippy Tornade.
Yeah, hey, get it right.
Yeah,
Tippy Tornade.
played by Kristen Wiig.
Another great looking outfit. I'm a big fan.
Calm down.
Listen, she's gorgeous.
Okay,
Jeez.
but did you guys know that this was previously cut? They had made this with the Timothy Chalamet episode.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Was
So
he
they-
Tippy Tornado?
Probably, honestly, he probably could have been like.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so they could have done something like that. So this was a recycled sketch. How do you think it played out with Kristen Wiig starring in it?
So Kristen Wiig is enjoyable in the sketch. What she's doing with her body is very funny. The way she's dancing. The sketch overall, to me, was only mildly amusing, though.
I thought the same thing.
I did like the absurdity of like the French variety show and the fact that they did do it all in French. It was there's some great production design. I liked the framework in which it was created.
I was waiting for the thing.
Yeah, I was waiting for like a bigger punchline.
Well, what, the smoking 6-year-old wasn't enough for you?
That was very funny. I did like
but
that bit.
you use that joke at
Yeah.
the beginning.
that was right that started off.
Yeah, you
So
started
yeah,
off
it
with that
didn't
one.
really feel like it ever went anywhere, you know. And I didn't like the absurdity of the final punchline. Like it felt like they were like, "How do we end this? Oh, let's just have her appear."
Yeah, that was
like,
weird.
Yeah, it broke the logic of the confines of the sketch for me. And so like it'd be like having the classic movie characters appear next to Reese DeWatt suddenly. You know, it's just like don't break that barrier.
Reese who?
Reese
DeWatt.
There you go. Get it right or don't say it at all.
But yeah, so it was fine. I honestly wish, because it does have the vibe of a 10-to-1 sketch, but I almost wish they would have pushed it up early in the show and did the retirement one later. But I feel like they probably didn't, because they had that big star lineup, and you want that up earlier in the show, because people are gonna leave before the end of the episode. Probably.
This just felt like a sketch that needed just a little more work done to it, and it could have been something. There was a missing punchline in there that or just rework some of the things. Maybe bring the smoking 6-year-old a little bit towards, like, escalate with that one, because again, I saw that, I'm like, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then I kept on waiting to one up that, and it just didn't. It was funny, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Agreed.
When you guys were kids watching SNL, did you ever dream of being a kid on one of those sketches?
No.
I did.
Did it ever happen?
Yeah.
Which one?
I'm one of the Coneheads.
All right. Well, that is the episode. Let's talk a little bit about details. In general, what do you think was Kristen Wiig in this?
Yeah, I mean, she was great. She's like, she's home whenever she's back on SNL. You know, she's comfortable. She fits in with whoever the cast is. She's having a good time.
And as longtime fans, it's just nostalgic, isn't it?
Exactly.
Like, I just miss.
You feel like everyone brings their A game whenever someone like this comes back around too.
It does.
You know?
Doesn't it seem like, I know I'm reading between the lines here, but doesn't it look like even the other cast, the current cast, has more fun?
Yeah,
when they have an old veteran there.
It's because of the timing thing. They're not waiting, because the host fucks up the timing more than anything else. And so when you've got a dedicated sketch performer like Kristen Wiig that knows timing, every sketch is elevated.
Yeah, when you're wide
feel
receiver,
safe, you feel comfortable.
Yeah, and you're a wide receiver and you see Tom Brady's coming.
Exactly.
You're like, this is great.
Yeah,
this is
I cannot wait to play today.
Yeah, exactly.
You know. Okay. Travis Kelce's friend.
Is he one of the Brady Bunch?
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
All right, so let's go. Let's start with sketch of the night, because we're gonna say MVP.
Jumanji.
Yeah, Jumanji.
That's the one I picked too.
Yeah, of course, because it's the best sketch of the night.
Let's go MVP then. What'd you guys think?
Andrew Dismukes. Really? Yeah, good job. What'd you think, Nate?
I feel like I shouldn't pick this.
No, you can't. Was that what you
going to pick? Yeah, because I loved him so much in the Jumanji sketch.
He's great. He was great in that, and he was also great in
him teaming up with James Dustin Johnson in the Les Maisons.
That was good.
And he was also in the go-karts.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, I thought he had a good episode. I thought, I thought Kristen Wiig was really good too. Yeah. So I would certainly.
But because she's an ex-cast member, I was expecting that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think I have anything else for this episode. We have another new episode coming out next week. Who's the host, Brad?
Ryan Gosling is going to be back. Nate spoiled it last time. He just let everybody know. I see.
Do you guys kind of find him really handsome? Because I do.
I think he's gross. Honestly, like there's something about his face that's just not handsome enough.
I want to touch him.
I would open mouth kiss him on a Ferris wheel.
I would. Wouldn't even need to be near the top where people can see.
Wouldn't even need to be on lips either.
Well, this has been Go Touch Yourself.
I love Ryan Gosling. I'm very excited to have him come back and host.
Great. He's great.
He's just a treasure. And
I love just cutting back to some of these guest stars. John Hamm saying like third time was in 2010. Just wait for that fourth call.
Yeah.
Like that was really funny. I hope he gets it.
Yeah.
I want to see John Hamm back again.
We talked about this last week, but Ryan Gosling's only hosted twice, so this will
be a third time.
Yeah, and he hasn't hosted since 2017, so it's good to have him back.
Yeah, this is.
It really is. It's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait.
Do you expect to see any guest stars with Ryan Gosling?
I wouldn't be surprised if they have Emily Blunt pop in, because especially since they're promoting the Fall Guy coming up. I feel like that would make sense. But they could easily. It depends on how many episodes they have after this. I don't know if they'll be able to fit in another 3 to end the season, or if they'll just do 2. Because they could have her host before the end of the year, maybe.
Sure.
But I don't know. I did want to throw out some.
You actually no, they might not. Last year, They only did 18 episodes last year?
because of the strike.
Oh, that's right. All right.
Yeah, because there were supposed to be 3 more.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So usually they do 3 the first, the second, and the third week of May.
Yeah.
So that
because there's always a Mother's Day.
yeah, so we should get 3 more episodes after this one, right?
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
If not, I'll be upset. I want to give a quick shout out to direct some people over to something that I've been enjoying lately. It's not a new thing, but it's new to me because
Snickers.
I just jumped on it.
It's a chocolate bar that you get to eat, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Thanks, Ben. No. So there's this podcast called The Good One that's hosted by Jesse David Fox, who is a journalist at Vulture. He's an entertainment writer like me, not a film critic.
I told Brad about this podcast years ago.
Did you really?
Legitimately did.
Well, because I know you like Jesse David Fox,
Yes.
and I thought it was just because of his writing.
No, because he's had this podcast for years.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
Yeah, no.
I did turn you on to this like years ago.
And so it came on my radar because he executive produced a documentary special with Mike Birbiglia that's based on the podcast called Good One, a show about jokes. It's just a 45-minute thing where Birbiglia talks about the process of creating a new special after he just filmed the previous special.
Well, tell the people what the podcast is about, though.
Yeah, so the podcast itself is a little bit different than that because basically Jesse David Fox brings in a comedian, and the comedian picks a bit typically from a stand-up set, although he has talked to SNL cast members and they pick a certain character.
And these are A-list comics. These are not just
it's not like tiny people. Yeah, they're all famous people. And so he talks to them and they talk about the inception of the joke, the evolution of the bit.
How much of it is real, what's exaggerated about it, where you came up with it,
and
how long you honed it, how much has changed about it.
Yeah.
It's such a deep dive.
For comedy fans.
Oh my God. It's like heroin.
Class.
It's like heroin.
Yeah, this is like, I've been listening to so many episodes. This is like exactly my comedy nerd shit. I love hearing how like certain bits come up.
I kind of wish Ben would have told me about this.
I wish you would have told me a long time ago, but but so I bring this up because I just recently listened to the Vanessa Bayer episode about Jacob the Bar Mitzvah Boy, which was great to hear about. I've listened to the Will Forte talk about MacGruber. There's one about the Totino's commercial trilogy and whatnot. So he talks to a lot of SNL people. He talks to a lot of stand-up comedians. The one with Vanessa Bayer was really interesting because I didn't realize this when it happened, but so
Vanessa Bayer's not actually a 13-year-old boy.
the sketch they wrote Jacob the Bar Mitzvah Boy with Mulaney and Zach Kanan, co-creator of I Think You Should Leave, and America. What's her last name?
Ferrera.
No, not that one.
The Beautiful?
And it's one of the SNL writers' names in America. I'm spacing on her last name, but they were the core writers of Jacob the Bar Mitzvah Boy back when they were on, and then when they left and they didn't do Jacob the Bar Mitzvah Boy for a couple years, and then they ended up doing it again for Vanessa's final season. And because I didn't know at the time, I didn't understand. Simon Rich was also one of the other writers, and so I didn't realize at the time. But the final appearance of Jacob the Bar Mitzvah Boy, she goes through a thing where like she's thanking like people who are like in her family, but she names Zach and John and America and Simon as people and like as she's thanking and everything. And so it was a really cool thing that like she actually got to do that on her farewell for that one.
There's somebody who needs to host.
Yeah, absolutely. She hasn't yet. It'd be a lot of fun if she did.
That was another one that I had a crush on when she was on the show.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean that I'm still mad at that.
Her weather meteorologist, Hap. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about where people can find us online. You can go to the10to1.com and find us online.
I'm typically at my computer.
Yeah, that is true. And we're working on getting you internet on that computer.
I like using my Oculus.
That causes too much of a rift.
Oh.
Hey.
Please rate and review us. And
not based on that
this
joke.
information with all of your friends, including Lauren Michaels. Brad,
where can people find you film critiquing?
Yeah, where are you writing these critics?
Well, you can find
critiques?
me first of all on Twitter at Ethan_Anderton, but also I write
that x.com.
Shut the fuck up, Nate. You can also check out my full reviews of new episodes of Saturday Night Live on Sundays, the day after new episodes air, typically in the late morning, early afternoon. No, I'm an entertainment journalist who occasionally reviews
Jack of all
films and
trades.
TV. I don't jack off to the trades. So Nate and Ben also do some bullshit.
Yeah, that's cool. 10to1pod.com. where you need to go?
I think it's just the 10to1.com.
Wow,
Is it really?
you should
I
probably
know
get
it's
that right.
goflixyourselfpod.com.
Yeah,
the 10to1.com.
Yeah, we do have another podcast called Go Flix Yourself. Find us online for that as well. Just search us.
I used to say there's a lot more swearing on that show, but Brad has proven.
Yeah, no, Brad's had a little bit of a potty mouth,
yeah.
and we apologize to all the children listening.
Keyword thunderfuck.
Oh my God! See,
Hey, listeners,
be
I'm so
good to
sorry.
each other.
Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.